And now we have an America first, go it alone strategy, where you declare war simultaneously with a trade war with everyone in the world, and then maybe over time you successively declare peace with non-China countries, and at the end somehow you're in an arrangement where you're all in the same place, squared up against China. That seems to be what President Trump, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has hinted at in recent days.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with policy editor Joe Lawler. Joe, Donald Trump did an about-face on tariffs this week, sent the markets into all kinds of turmoil. Why did he suspend the tariffs for 90 days, and what did he accomplish?
Yeah, this week we saw that the markets are the ultimate form of real-time feedback, right? Where markets first suffered when he put the tariffs in place, and then when he moved to suspend them, they soared, they went vertical the moment that his Truth Social post came out. So he was really pressured into doing what he did because of the movements in stocks and especially bonds, right? So when stocks go down, that's not such a huge problem because they can go up again the next day, and people can ride out a hit to their portfolio in the short term. But when the bond markets start causing trouble, especially the treasury market, that's the one that all kinds of financial instruments are built on all across the world. So many products are tied to that. That's so important to the safety of the overall system. That's when he really had to do something, and he moved fast once that started to happen.
So we hear sort of mixed messages sometimes from the White House. Sometimes they're saying, they want to negotiate fairer terms in the long run to increase global trade, and other times you hear that the ultimate goal is reshoring of American manufacturing. If reshoring of American manufacturing is the goal, is this kind of yo-yoing of tariffs make it hard for companies to place bets on building factories here?
Yeah, I think that's really the question that so many ambassadors and trade representatives from countries all over the world would love to have answered right now. What does President Trump want? And it's not at all clear. As you say, sometimes it's about bringing back manufacturing. At other times it's about negotiating better deals, which is in tension with that first goal. I don't think that anyone really knows the answer to that question. I'm not sure that his top advisors know the answer to that question. It really comes down to the man behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office who has this unilateral power to impose and remove tariffs. That's what we're all waiting to see. Of course, right now we have very high tariffs still in place on China. Clearly there's a desire to gain distance from China, to punish them for a lot of the unfair trade practices that they've engaged in over the years. So maybe we have a partial answer with respect to China, but everyone else, who knows, it's really TBD.
If Trump and the U.S. is the only country that puts these enormous tariffs on China, but other trading partners don't kind of join the U.S. in punishing China, is China going to be all that hurt, or is that what do you think about that?
That's a great question, because in the Obama years we had the move to negotiate the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which of course was a goal shared by both the Obama administration and the Republican leadership at that time, including Speaker Paul Ryan. And
what a throwback. I forgot that was ever a thing.
Yeah. And the idea there was to bring all of the U.S. allies together to form a trading bloc that could exert pressure on China. And now we have an America first, go it alone strategy, where you declare war simultaneously with a trade war with everyone in the world, and then maybe over time you successively declare peace with non-China countries, and at the end somehow you're in an arrangement where you're all in the same place, squared up against China. That seems to be what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has hinted at in recent days. It's a different approach. Will the end goal be the same? It's hard to say. Certainly we've seen top U.S. trade partners distancing themselves from us in recent weeks, especially Canada, with whom we share a massive border and many supply chains. And the statement from Canada and other countries that are close allies or have been in past years, saying that there needs to be a bit of an arm's length distance with the U.S. because we're not quite in the same relationship with them as we have been in the past, thanks to the surprise and huge tariffs that Trump has put in place on them.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for teaching me about tariffs and what they are.
My pleasure.
You can get more reporting from Joe and the rest of the policy team at washingtonexaminer.com.